Today is March 12th. I'm doing a quick video just to talk about what's going on. I am still looking for the house. Trying to make that happen. Found out that the stimulus checks are going out again. So this will be the third one, and this is the first one under President Biden. So we're going to see what the difference is and if that's going to be even, anything. I put a whole bunch of money on getting to England, so I'm kind of wiped out for the month. But I was going to do picking up this house with the savings that I've put aside, so I'm not counting that. But it's cool to see that I've had just enough every which direction I've gone, which is really cool. And trusting in God has been really, it's been freeing to me. I can sleep at night without having to worry about what clients and what this and that is going right and wrong, just because I know, I have yet to go without. And so in the men's Bible study I'm doing with Jeff and Stu and some of the dudes at church, it's been really cool. We're going through Hebrews. We just hit Hebrews 6, which it talks about like what a lot of people think is loss of salvation, but if you use context and kind of look through it, it doesn't talk about that. It talks about people who aren't saved, who are like participating, and they just it talks about that and how like you should go on to maturity and on to salvation. It was cool because it gave me a chant. The morning before we did this Bible study, I got to meet with David, which I don't get to do much. And it's been really cool because I got to talk to him. I went out of my way to be very mindful of the things I was saying, and I prayed as we were talking because he had said some stuff to me that wasn't exactly the most not mature, but spiritually mature way of approaching something, and I kind of felt like I wanted to encourage him and push him towards towards the goal. So I talked to him, and it was really good, and he was really receptive, and it was a time of like really good fellowship with my brother, and he just, I feel like, I've said it before, but every ounce of encouragement and just like, if you believe in David, it's like his superpower. You believe in him, and he does it, and it just makes me really proud to be his brother. I do want to see him get into the Word and get hardcore with it. He's going through Acts, which I'm going through Acts, which is really cool to be able to. He started talking about Stephen, which was really neat because he said something and I was like, oh, I'm right there. So I'm only a couple chapters ahead of him, which was really neat. And so it was really refreshing to know that he's in the Word and to hear him talk about his wife and me and Laura kind of, when I wasn't saved, we would butt heads and I would try to be cool, but just like my personality, who I was fundamentally was, I think it went up against who Laura is fundamentally, and I think she had no tolerance for just what the shenanigans, and which is good, but to hear him talk about Laura and hear how good of a conversations they have, like it was pretty cool. And so they are moving to Florida, which is which is huge. I mean, that's the first of the Bridges clan to leave the state. So we're going to see how that is. How am I going to be as an uncle if I'm going to be so far away? So to kind of start making good choices about being intentional in my relationships, I started to write letters to my nieces and nephews. Now, I don't know a ton about them, but I know little things, and I think I'm going to go really hard on the things I know about them, and then just kind of, let God kind of sort out what needs to be sorted out. So I'm writing them now. I've got one done, and it's pretty good. It's pretty long, and I feel like it's going to be really cool. Paul is really into like bugs and insects and animals and stuff. So I wrote him the Florida like guide to ants. So all the cool ants that are down there and why I think they're cool. And so hopefully that'll be something that he can like pick up on and be like, oh, this is really awesome. And he gets there and he sees them and he's like, oh, I know about these because this. And, just plant some good, like, good things in there. And, I tried to tell him, I'm praying for him and that, that it can be tough. Which I think, he's old enough that it seems like that'll be a good thing. The other two are younger. Not younger, but younger than him. So I don't know where the line is for, like, really strong comprehension of complex ideas are. Because, I don't think I've hit that spot myself. But I want to write to them as well because I want them to get something in the mail. And I think it's super cool to get something from the mail. So I'm going to do that. The other things I'm working on is I sat down with my dad today, had lunch with him, and he talked about, it's so good. Anytime I go out of my way to honor him and, like, make sure that I'm being respectful, which I have not been my entire life at all. But since Jesus Christ, put, a new heart in me. One of the things that I've been working on is honoring my dad, being honoring and not tearing him down like I used to, and not fighting with him. He was still cool when I was like that. He was still good to me, and so I'm really deciding to go out of my way to do this, and it's easier now because of things like the Holy Spirit, but we still fight, but I mean, nowhere near what it used to be or frequency, or it's a very rare occasion now. But getting to sit down with him, and he was talking about just how proud of the family he was and how he thought everyone was doing such a good job. And it was cool because I told him, hey man, let me tell you the truth that, you should be leading this family. You should be leading it in your spiritually. And he was like, oh, I believe in God. I do this, I do that. And it was the same thing you hear from a lot of people when you start talking about spirituality. It's almost like a defensive, and it wasn't meant to be aggressive, but it was something that I wanted to say to him because I know it's important for the head of the clan to be in the Word. And so I talked to him about it, and he admitted, he goes, yeah, I could do better. And I told him, I encouraged them, and all of this was at the utmost respect. And so just pushing him towards reading his word and being in it, because that's the only thing I can think of. Because if you say you're a Christian and you feel faithful and honoring to God, then I mean that's what we do. So I figured if anything's going to change him, it's going to be the Word of God. So I felt really, really good about talking to him and pushing him towards that. And he's starting to understand that if I'm sitting down with him, he's getting a talk. Not like a lecture or anything, but it's going to be about the thing that's super important. And what's cool is he's been my prayer for since the first of the year, and it's March now, so about 3 months and 12 days. He's been my prayer that seems impossible. And I hope and I pray that one day this video, I'm going to get to tell you about him being changed. Either by stepping up into a place where he is more active, or not active, but more like spiritually aware, or that there's a whole life transformation. And I'm really, really hopeful for him, just because I know how good God is and how he wants entire families, and how he's been working on, entire families, and he works on generations and generations and generations. So it's not outside of his character for me to believe that this is something he wants. So I'm going to do my best to be a part of that. Some of the other things that are going on, I'm still at the gym. I'm down to 8 pounds. That's in like 2 weeks. I don't know if it's because I did the keto diet and I just hit ketosis or whatever, but I'm feeling like I'm waking up early. When Wiggs wakes up, it feels good. I can see why people do this. I don't like working out because I don't feel like I know how, but I'm just doing the same thing every day. I'm going in 3 or 4 times a week, and working out's been really, really good. I want more out of it as far as this life kind of transferring to conversations and being able to talk to people about, using health, fitness, whatever, into being something that I can talk to them about, things that matter more. It was cool. Scott is one of my friends, Scott Whipple. He is one of my best friends. He messaged me because I always send him like sermons and stuff, because he says, hey, I'm a Christian, so that means to me that you are giving me license to send you things that I think are cool. So I sent him these messages, and like finally he was like, hey, I'm gonna listen to some of your stuff, send me some stuff. And I sent him like 5 or 10 of my favorites, from all different people. A couple Tim Keller, because Tim Keller's got a solid game. And it was really cool because he listened to one of them, and I'm going to get to talk to him about it. And he always has some really, really, really good insights, and I'm excited. Got to have dinner with Stu last night. Man, I really like Stu. I really, really like Stu, and he's a cool guy, and he's brought his